I didn't know that. Okay, guys, it's a little windy in here. Grand Rising. Okay. Okay, let's see. Grand Rising, everyone. You know, I be trying to. It is a little windy. Woo. It's a little windy out here this morning. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising, everyone. Let's see, do I have anybody here? Okay. Grand Rising, everyone. Today is January 31st, 2025. We are in it, right? So, Grand Rising, everyone, Grand Rising. So, I am back out here in nature. Let me show you guys what I'm working with. Let's see. Okay, so guys, I want to go ahead and set my intentions before I start my walking. So if you guys want to join along with me as I set my intention, right? Okay, with each step, I ground myself in the present and I release anything that no longer serves me. And I welcome in love, peace, clarity, and renewal. Yay! That's what I'm talking about. So each time I go to walking, where I start my walking, I forgot to do it in my last live, but I like to set intentions just so that I'm ready to connect with nature. So I believe in setting intentions with anything that you do. Really set the atmosphere, right? So yeah, setting intentions is really important, and I'm going to leave that intention down in the description at the end of this video. So again, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Guys of Color, and I'm taking you along with me on my nature walk. So I'll post a comment in the description. How do you start your day? What are some of the things you do to prep your day? Do you set intentions for starting your day, etc., etc., etc.? But first, let me give a shout out to all my new subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome. I'm so happy to have you guys a part of this growing community. So, and shout out to True Zone. Thank you, thank you, thank you, True Zone Production. I had the opportunity to go up on his panel the other morning, and I was so happy to just have that engagement with him in his community. So shout out to my new friend, Truth Zone Production. So, y'all, I'm just getting started, and I'm already I'm already out of breath. But even though it's a little windy because it rained yesterday, you can see. Can you see the sun? The sun is out. The sun is out. But yeah, so what I want to talk to you guys about this morning, as I was pondering last night, thinking last night, what I want to talk about today. So I want to invite you guys into this conversation, right? And I just wanted to talk or ask you guys, how important do you think healing is to incorporate on your journey? Do you think healing is really necessary for you to walk in your purpose, for you to really live authentically healing? So I was thinking about that last night, right? I was watching something on TV. I don't know if it was the Karamo show or something I was watching. And there were people, the guests that were on, you was the Karamo, the guest was on there. And I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos, the trauma that these guests were on there to confront their loved ones about was really, really touching. And I said I wanted to really pose that question to you guys to ask, how important do you think healing is on your journey? Do you think that, I can just suppress it? It's happened. It's over with. That's in the past. You know what I'm saying? I can move on and it really doesn't affect me. So do you believe that's true, or do you think that there's some work that we need to do internally, externally, before we can really live our authentic selves, right? So let me see who's in here. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Who is this? So. Good morning, so. Good morning, good morning. I think you are from Truth Zone. So thank you. It's a new sub. I really appreciate you. And welcome to my nature walk. I try to, if not every day, get out here in nature and walk. For me, connecting to nature, for me, it's very important. I like being out here. It's very cathartic. It's a time for me to just have some self-care time to myself, time to reflect. For me, when I'm out in nature, I get a lot of downloads. I'm just able to just breathe, listen to music if I so choose, but just having that connection and have that alignment and being able to get out here and speak and just converse with Mother Nature, and the weather permits, or depending on what season it is, I like to ground afterwards as well. So it's really important for me to start my day being out here in nature and just breathe it all in, soak it all in. So this is really important to me. If you go back and watch some of my old videos, just about every day I recorded me being out here in nature, and then not just being out here, but the healing effects, especially when you're going through something or you're pondering something. Being out in nature can give you that healing effect that you need or you're looking for. You might not even know that you need it, but once you're out here in nature, it just changes the whole dynamic of everything. For me personally, it does. It just changes the whole dynamic of everything. So I don't know. I'm so glad that the weather is starting to lift from all of this cold that we've been having and all of that stuff. So when the weather changes like this, I know someone mentioned on Truth Show that they still get out and walk even if the weather is a little cooler. And I do too, but when it's really, really cold, I still have to, for myself, know when it's okay for me to go out and what's not. So I have to really use my discernment and just know that, maybe this is not a good day. But when the weather permits, your girl is out here and she's getting her walk on. And I'm gonna show you my tree. I forgot the other day. So when I finish walking my tree, I've adopted my tree. I have a tree over here. I'm coming up to it. I have a tree. So under this tree, when I finish walking, I bring my blanket, take off my shoes, and I just lay there. Anywhere from 20 minutes, maybe an hour. No one bothers me. I lay under my tree. I put my feet to Mother Earth, and I just ground, and I just lay there. And I'm telling you, it's the most gratifying feeling that you can have, just to have that time to yourself, just to have that time to be at peace, and just to put your feet to the soil. So yeah, this is how your girl starts her day. This is what I do after I drop off my daughter to school. So getting back to healing, and if that's important, and how important is healing for you on your spiritual journey, your personal journey, doesn't matter. Can you just suppress those things? Keep it moving. Doesn't bother you, doesn't affect you, etc., etc. Well, let me just, you know what? It's hot. Although it's raining a little bit, it's raining, it has rained, and you can see I got on this heavy sweater, pullover thing, but I'm getting a little warm as well. So maybe I go around one time and I take this thing off, because honey, whew, baby, it's hot out here. Me in your 50s, baby, it's warm out here. Okay, so let's get back to healing. And let me just give you a story while I'm out here walking, right? So I believe healing, for me personally, is my perspective. I think healing for me is very important, really, before you can just step into whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whether it's stepping into your purpose, stepping into a new job, a new venture. For me, it was necessary. Hey girl, how you doing? For me, healing was very necessary for me. And I needed to heal, coming from a place of brokenness, coming from a place of hurt, coming from a place of being betrayed and abused when I was younger. I knew for me that I needed to heal. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired of living the type of life that I was living, resulting from, my childhood trauma. So when I began my healing journey, I was at the breaking point where I knew that it was do or die. You know what I'm saying? I had, at that time when I began my healing journey, it was 20 years ago. But it took me from the age of 8 up until 20 something to really understand everything and to know that I needed to be healed from whatever it was that I was dealing with, right? So, and I also knew, like I said, I had, at this time during my healing journey, I had a 5-year-old son, right? And I knew that in order for me to raise him in a healthy environment, I knew that I had to get my mental state together. I knew that the trauma that I had experienced wasn't fair for me to put that on him, if that makes sense. I knew that I could not be the best mother and the best caretaker for my 5-year-old son if I was still broken, going through whatever I was going through mentally and emotionally. And he being 5 years old, Not understanding this, I knew it was important for me to heal. I didn't want to pass on that toxicity to him. I didn't want to raise him in a toxic environment because I knew if it affected me mentally, that I knew darn well that it was going to have a negative impact on him because of where I was, what state of mind and frame I was. So I knew that it was time for me to really to just deal with the trauma. It was time for me to just release everything that I had endured. And I'm telling you, healing is not an easy thing. For one, you had to really, for me, I had to make a decision, and I knew, I'm trying to unpack this the right way. I knew that I had to confront some demons. I knew that I was going to have to confront and unveil some dirty, hidden, very hurtful things that happened to me. And I think that's a lot of reasons why people don't begin their healing journey as soon or sooner than later. It's because they know that you're going to have to go and unpack some things, that you're going to have to come face to face with some things that you're not ready to confront, ready to reveal, ready to deal with, all the emotions and everything that comes with, unpacking such a traumatic thing or things that may have happened to you, whether it's SA, physical, emotional, all of that stuff. So I knew I was ready. I knew that I was tired of going around being unhappy. I was tired of, at this point, I was on medication. I was having uppers to have me sleep, pills to have me sleep from my doctor, and to wake so that I could function. I can function in society, that I can go to work. Because of all the things that I had experienced, it was up and down, up and down, up and down. So I had to consult a doctor who helped me to begin my journey. First thing he did was put me on medication to just deal with the anxiety and deal with, there's a lot of water on this trail, deal with the anxiety and everything, because everything that I had endured and was going through was suppressed, compacted, right? So starting a healing journey, for me, I was at that place, at that point, like I said, I knew it was do or die. You're either going to confront these issues, you're either going to do what you have to do, or, it was just that bad. It was really just that bad. And at this time, I was in church as well. I just joined church. So I had a supportive team there to help me. But when I decided that it was time, you guys, just even thinking back about that, it took a while. That healing journey took me about 3 years. I kid you not, from going to therapy, because once you started opening that Pandora box and you started confronting those things, it's like an on and off thing, I'm ready to, and then once the rubber hit the road and you are confronting those things, it takes a toll on you emotionally. And you're like, no, I thought I was ready, but really I'm not ready to deal with this. It's too painful. I thought that I was equipped to deal with this, but I really am not. And you stop, you get on, and you stop, you get on, and you stop. But I still had to have in the forethought of my head that it wasn't just about me, that I knew that I had to heal. So in order to be the best mom, that I could be for my son. Because if anybody has had dealt with any type of trauma or hurt, you can't tell me that it doesn't affect every portion or part of your life, even your children, if you have any. It affects everything. And for me, it altered everything about myself, about my reality that I thought was real. Whew. How you doing? Thank you. You as well. I appreciate that. So, like I said, it alters everything about your reality that you thought that was real. But once I really dug my heel in deep, and I had the supportive team that I knew that I could purge to, that I could trust with the most deepest, darkest secrets that I had been suppressing, that was laying dormant in me, that wasn't going to judge me, that wasn't going to scrutinize me. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people with trauma, also another thing why they don't, start their journey immediately is because of, feeling, they may be persecuted or judged or isolated or scrutinized or just made to feel some type of way. Because I tell you what I've learned on my journey, there's a lot of hypocritical people out there, a lot of judgmental people, especially if they have not been through what you've been through, if they have not experienced the things that you experienced. People can be very judgmental and hurtful. And that could also be a setback as well, having to deal with people just knowing or finding out, about certain things that you kept hidden for so long. But at this point, it really didn't matter because there was a bigger picture at stake. My life was at stake.
Hello, Moto.
There was a lot of things that was at stake. So I knew it was just important for me. So I say a lot of that to say,
Hello, Moto.
Just 1 second. Okay, sorry about that interruption. For me, it was really important for me to really just go through the process because like I was saying, I knew there was a bigger picture. I knew there was more at stake than me just, staying stuck, bound to this torment that I had been suffering for so many years since I was a little girl. So I knew it was important to me. But I'm telling you, on the flip side of that, guys, when I came out, when I was totally healed from all of that stuff happened to me, I didn't realize or knew how or what happiness felt like. You can put on a good face, you can put up a good front, or when you're around people, you can pretend to be happy, you can blend in, you know what I'm saying? And people just see what they see on the outside because that's what you present to them. But behind closed doors, people don't really know the hell and the torment that you go through, that you experience. But on the flip side of it, when I came out, I knew, I'm going to tell you, when I knew I was here, I knew, and it took, like I said, that process was a long process. It was not an easy process because of, the stopping and not, wanting to deal with it. And, your therapist giving you this advice to do, that advice to do, and just having to really take heed to what they were, advising you to do and, to implement. But how I knew that I was healed is when I was able to confront and come face to face with the people that had traumatized me, that had hurt me, in my younger years. When I was able to say that I genuinely forgive the people that perpetrated this hurt upon me, and when I saw them, it didn't trigger me. You know what I'm saying? When people think they're healed, or when people believe that they're healed, I say that for me, I'm just speaking from my experience only. If things are still able to trigger you, say a certain song, or somebody touch you in the wrong way, a different person, or a certain thing that may flash across the TV, whatever, if you're still easily triggered by some things, that means there's some stuff that's, for me, there was some stuff that was still there that I needed to maybe hear from and deal with. I wanted all of that junk out of me. I was so tired of going through the motion. I was so tired of being sick and tired. So when I was able to see these people, although I did see them in my life still, but it wasn't no connection there. I didn't have any relationship with them or anything. It was like in passing, or when you were in family gatherings, either you went or you didn't, just so that you didn't have to see the persons or have any type of dealings with them. You just avoided any situation or people that played a hand in your trauma. But when I was able to see these people and not be triggered or have flashback of what happened, I knew that I was healed. When I was able to forgive myself, because one of the very first things that a perpetrator, hi everyone in the chat, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. So I don't have my glasses on, but grand rising to you all. One of the things that perpetrators would tell a victim is that it's your fault. You did this, you made it happen, whatever their sick mind tells them. But as a kid, you don't know no better. You carry around that weight, you carry around that guilt, with you. But when I was able to forgive myself, and I had to understand that the things that happened to me wasn't my fault. I didn't ask for this to happen. I didn't give you any type of anything for you to perpetrate this type of hurt on me. So it was wow. It was very necessary for me, and I can look back on it this many years later, and the person that I am today, it allowed me, once I went through the healing journey, it allowed me to put myself out there to mentor other young girls, to volunteer at our women prisons, doing healing sections with the women, just putting yourself. That's another thing. That's the third thing. How I knew I was healed. Let me get to that before I go further. Is that I was able to publicly talk about it. I was publicly, or with people whom I was doing the volunteer work with, or hosting different outreach programs for young girls. I was able to share my story and share my experience with others without having a breakdown or without being triggered. So that's another way that I knew I was healed, when I was able to give myself, so to speak, to others about my experience and how it affected me, and all the things that you go through or you deal with as a part of being, having childhood trauma. So when I was able to share my experience with other girls and other women. And oh my God, that alone taught me so much. All the things that I had endured was worth it. I mean, my purpose became clear. I knew what my purpose in life was. I knew what I was supposed to do. I had clarity. I wasn't on a roller coaster going up and down with my emotions. So being able to speak openly and to help other people was the most gratifying experience that I've ever had in my life, because I was able to see that I was not alone, that there were other people that had also experienced some of the same type of trauma that I had. And it made it, there was like in itself a weight that was lifted off of me, that to know and to see that you are not alone. But growing up, you don't know that as a child, because in the Black community, we didn't talk about stuff like this. You didn't discuss this stuff wasn't dealt with, swept under the rug. You know, the old wise tale in the community: if it didn't hurt you or kill you, make you stronger. The biggest lie ever told. It does hurt you. It does affect you. It alters your self-esteem. It alters your self-identity. Everything about you that you thought was real, the people that you thought love you, it changes all of that. So, yeah, we didn't have the outlets and the tools that we had. And again, people just didn't want to deal with it. You know, they didn't want to hear about it. And so that was the thing that I learned when I was doing my outreach ministry, doing my outreach work, and dealing and talking with other young people and women. And I'm going to tell you, the one thing that was like, wow, I started to understand and started to be around people that looked like me, that had dealt with this too. But the most shocking thing, y'all, was, I'll tell you this one experience, and then I'm going to get back to why I think healing is so important on your journey. If you have not begun your healing journey, why it's so important. One of the most gratifying experience that has ever happened to me on my healing journey, because I'm still on my journey of learning, journey of being awakened or awoke, and just learning so much still at this age and at this time, still learning so much. But one of the most gratifying things that I had experienced on my journey of healing was I was speaking at a juvenile detention center for girls here in my city. And I understood all the rules and all that stuff that, you know, they had a guard that comes in the room with you while you speaking and talking to, you know, the young girls or whatever. There was no, you know, you couldn't, it was just very secure. You came in and you spoke to the girls and you engaged to talking, but you couldn't, you know, embrace them if they started to cry or whatever. But there was the security officer lady that was assigned to that particular group in class. I just noticed that she was just looking at me, and I kind of felt uneasy because I didn't know why she was giving me so much attention, why she was just looking at me from in the back of the room. And you know how you talking to people, but you can see in your peripheral, you can see this way that somebody is looking at you and staring at you. So as I was talking to the girls and giving my stories and answering questions, I just noticed that the guard, she was just fixed on me. She was just locked in, dead at me, just locked in. And I was like, what is in my head? I was trying to still talk to the young girls, and the security lady just locked in. She wasn't mean mugging me, but she was so fixated towards me that I sensed it and I recognized it. So long story short, after I concluded the class and I was getting ready to leave out, she approached me in the hallway and she told me that what I said to the young girls was very encouraging, and for me to be able to talk. She had never come in her experience of black women talking about, that type of stuff that I was talking about out in the public, so boldly and confidently without any shame. And she told me, and so she introduced herself, she told me her name, she said that, and then she said she apologized for staring at me the way that she was. But here's the thing, guys. She pulled me aside and walked over to the little wall thing, right? And she said, I apologize for looking at you like that. But she said that I think she said she was like 52 or 53. And she said that she also was a victim of SA abuse and that she had never, ever talked about it. And that nobody knew that this happened to her 50 years. And then I started to cry because at this point in time, I'm in my early 30s, maybe early 30s. Yeah, I'm in my early 30s. And so when this 50-something-year-old woman told me that she was a victim as a child of SA abuse, I was floored. She said she had never met anyone black in particular, that had talked about their experience and, having had that to happen to them. And she said that she was just so happy and that she felt like that was a big release for her seeing me come there talking, because she had never ever dealt with it. She had never even spoken it out of her mouth. And that she knew if I was brave enough to get up here and speak in front of all of these young girls out in the public to tell my story in hopes of helping somebody else to heal whatever trauma that they were going through, that she was able to do it as well. So we exchanged phone numbers. She gave me her phone number. And for a while, we talked on the phone, and I just shared with her my experience and all the different side effects that I endured being a victim of that. So for me, sharing my story with people, and I've been doing it for years now. I even wrote a book about it myself, autobiography book about my life, about my journey. So I wrote a book. It's another story for another day, but that was what I was saying. That was the most gratifying experience that I had. So that made me feel that what I was doing was not in vain, that it was helping someone, even if I didn't see it or no one said it, but what I was doing was helpful. And just that one person that came up to me, that one lady, really just gave me the momentum, the push, the drive, and the encouragement to keep going forward. And after that, that's when I started doing those type of sessions at the women prison here in my city. And when I tell you guys, the women that I met in prison, and we did a different, it was like a 6 weeks class. And most of them was there because it was a part of their parole. They had to, get in some of these classes that was being offered, through the jail system. They had to go to different classes, not just what I was teaching, but a lot of other different classes. So I had my first class, I'm going to get back to it. My first class, I think I had maybe just 10 women in the class. But before I concluded my 6 weeks class there, I had over 50 women that was in that class. And when I tell you the trauma that we as women uh, experience or have been victimized by is so overwhelming. I would say out of those 50 women, probably maybe way over 50, maybe 80% of those women in there related to me, that they were a victim or had been SA in their childhood. And that's one of the reasons or the cause or effect of what led them down the path that they were on because of that hurt, because of that abuse. And they didn't know how to channel that. They didn't have an outlet or a place or people to talk to that about. And it just was like a dominoes effect. Everything started happening. So when someone say, if it don't hurt you, if it don't kill you, it'll make you stronger. Like I was saying, hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So when they say that what doesn't kill you make you stronger, it's a lie, because I witnessed it from people, especially women that was in prison, and a lot of the things that they were in there for, they stated that partially of it was because of what they had been through in their childhood, that trauma and all the things that that dark, dirty, dingy, muddy road and things that they experienced stems from, being abused and having all of that trauma, all of those people in you. Because I don't think we understand that when this is perpetrated on you, you inhabit, or that spirit of that individual or energy, I say, of that person is inside of you. And you don't know why that you are so fickle with other men, if you're a woman or if you're a guy, why you behave the way you do, with men, on that journey or in your experience, why you behave and do the things that you do. So when you are victimized, that energy of that person is inside of you. So I had to learn, and it was just through the spirit teaching me how to release that, how to identify that, because I didn't know. A lot of things I learned on my healing journey was intuitively. You know what I'm saying? It was intuitively. Things were coming in my head to do, how to release that, how to set myself free from those energies that was laying dormant in me, from the people that perpetrated. It is a crime, that crime of the hurt upon me. So not only do you have to go through the stages of forgiving others, forgiving yourself, but also getting that energy that was attached to that person out of you. So that was the most gratifying thing. That's another story for another day. But that was one of the most gratifying experiences that I had ever experienced, was when that lady, that security lady, came up to me and told me that what I had said to the young girl, she felt it and it resonated with her, because she had never saw another black woman talk about something like that, and it was so encouraging to her. So from there, that just sparked this journey that I'm on now. And from there, I just started doing community work with or hosting my own community workshop for girls, or speaking. I spoke in my church, on this subject when we had Youth Day. So any place that I was able to go on the local radio station here in my city on the morning show as a guest or a victim that had experienced it, and talk about it, with other people. And that was also gratifying as well. But that security guard was the first gratifying experience. And then being able to express it or talk about it on the radio here, and then have people call in and ask you questions. And that was also very uplifting and empowering to me. And that's the journey. That's been my whole life journey. That's where I'm at currently. That's one of the reasons that I started, again, my YouTube platform, that I wanted to create a safe place, a safe haven, a community for women and young girls that has not dealt with that childhood trauma, and to really just be an example for them, to show them, or to be somebody that they can look like them, meaning melanated, someone that looks like them, that had experienced it, and the journey that it took me on from the time it happened, until I began my healing journey. So I wanted to be a black face and a black voice, to be an example, to show them that you can heal from it, and that yes, another melanated black woman has also, had this experience, and I survived. Wasn't easy, but I survived. And if I can share my story, that you can too, with the right tools and the people, in your support group, or, to help you. So that's why I posed the question to ask, how important do you think healing is necessary for you on your healing journey? And I would just answer that and say absolutely, positively, because you cannot pour into someone from a broken vessel, from an empty well. That's just not possible, because anything can trigger those emotions or events or occurrence that has happened to you, and there's no way that you can pour out of an empty vessel into someone else. It's just not possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not possible to do. So it is important to find a safe place, to find people, like-minded people that have experienced what you have experienced and has healed, and find out the tools and techniques, that you can implement into your life to help you on your journey. So I believe that it's very important for you to heal, to be able to walk authentically, hold, sound-minded into whatever endeavors that you are in pursuit of. Just so that when you are, or if you decide to use your experience to help elevate and empower others, that you are totally clean of those traumas. You've done your work to heal, and that, what I'm saying, that you coming from a place of wholeness, because you still holding on to any of that stuff, and you're trying to pour yourself and onto other people. That's going to be a tug of war there. It's not going to let you do it intuitively. Your higher self is not going to allow you to do it, because it's something there that's not going to allow you to give your whole self wholeheartedly to that situation or to that person or people that you're trying to empower. So for me, severing that ties of hurt, confusion, betrayal, all of that stuff, releasing myself out of bondage, forgiving myself, forgiving others, and to really just find out who my real person was, what my identity was, building up my self-esteem, and just doing the work to become the best version of yourself after such a traumatic experience. So yes, I believe that healing is very necessary, and you can't move forward with all of that baggage, that's hanging on to you or that's laying dormant in you. All of that weight, that you are holding on to or that's laying dormant. You can't bring that forward. You know what I mean? You can't bring that forward and um, think or expect it to um, resonate with the people in the intention or the manner that you want it to. And like I said, it's always going to be something there. So, yes, healing is very important. It's not an easy journey, but I would encourage you if you are holding on to, it may not be that particular trauma. Maybe it's physical trauma. Maybe it's emotional trauma. Maybe it's psychological trauma. But whatever the hurt or the trauma is, to find people, a safe haven, or a community of like-minded people that you can trust, that will support you, that's not going to judge you, that's not going to scrutinize you, but's going to give you the support, the love that you need, and the tools and the techniques that you need to help you to sever those ties, get you out of bondage from that so that you can move forward and becoming the best version of yourself, your higher self. So connecting to your higher self authentically, and being able to just, walk in your authenticity, being able to walk around with pure, honest joy, since, for real joy. It's a feeling that you just really can't explain, but just to be liberated, to be set free from that is probably the best love, the best self-love the sun is coming out, the best self-love that you can give to yourself, honor yourself with, because you deserve it, and moving forward. So, yeah, I just wanted to have that discussion with you all and to express, my opinion about healing and how important it is. And if you don't, if you don't really just dig into, starting peeling back the layers and really confronting and exposing all of that stuff, that you're just passing, you're not doing yourself a good service, and it affects every other part of you, anger, hostility, all of that stuff, that's a side effect of all of that stuff still, lying dormant in you. That's a side effect of that. So to be the best version of yourself, your whole self, your healed self, I would say, yes, I would encourage you to, like I said, find those sources or outlet of people. And it's not going to be easy, because I know that there's a wall and there's a barrier that victims put up to safeguard themselves from other people. And you really don't know, who to trust, who to confide in, who to share your experience with, and having in your thought or in your head, behind closed doors, do they really understand? Are they talking to other people, about your situation, and all of that stuff. And that's another thing that you really have to, get those low vibrational thoughts or low energy thoughts, out of your system, out of your mind, because that's another way for it to control you, or to have you in fear of moving forward because of those, thinking somebody's going to judge you, or, not understand, or, all of those other things. That's another side effect, I would say, that hold people, victims, in bondage. Fear of moving forward, fear of, the judgment of others, of fear of what you really look like, feel like, being your whole real authentic self, because now you have to look yourself in the mirror and confront that little girl or that little boy that was, traumatized so many years ago, and help heal, that inner child. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, guys, I wanted to just come on and chime with you guys while I'm out here in nature walking. Uh, it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So uh, if you have any comments that you want to leave, or any questions that you may have for me, leave them in the comment section or reach out to me. The community that I'm trying, my intentions in my community is to have it filled with like-minded, supportive sisters, that you can really, really trust, and that that's really going to support you, that really is going to have your back, and be there for you as you begin this journey of healing. So that's the type of community that I'm trying to build. It's not for people who are not like-minded, because at this point in stage, we just don't want the drama, don't want that low vibrational energy. Not in 2025. This is the time of us trying to empower each other, motivate, uplift, encourage each other with our life experience, and moving forward, in our life path, on our life course. So yeah, I just hope I'll get into water after water after water. I hope, family, something that I said was encouraging, and that it was helpful. So, like the video, share it. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing to our channel, becoming a part of this loving, beautiful community. And yeah, let's just join our forces together to be the support that we want, and be the what is it, the armor bearer for others that we didn't have for ourselves, and be that voice, that shoulder. Sometimes people just want you to listen and not say anything. Sometimes people just want to cry and to release, and to finally say, well, whoo, Lord, there are people out here that are standing on business for real, that are standing in integrity, that are being very authentic in their stance. And the people will be able to feel that. They'll be able to resonate with that. Trust me, you'll be able to sense the energy, or to know if you're in the right community or not. You'll be able to know that. So with that being said, I'm going to finish up my last mile and then rest for a minute. But just know that you are not alone. That you are not alone, that you are loved, that you are somebody, and that healing is very important. And if it's your time, it's your time. It's not happenstance or coinky dinky that you came across this video, or someone shared it with you. Maybe you've been praying, or you've been seeking for an answer, or you've been seeking clarity for something, and you just happen to stumble across this video. I don't believe in happen chances. I don't believe in that. I believe in synchronicity and divine timing. And if you stumble across it, watch the video through its entirety. It's not by happen chance that you stumbled across this video. It was meant for you to see and to watch, and to hopefully inspire and uplift and empower you, and to encourage you to rise in your divinity, to take back your power, to take back your self-identity, to raise your self-esteem, and all of that good stuff so that you can walk boldly in your purpose, fulfill your destiny, and all that good stuff. Enjoy a happy, fulfilled, authentic life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, guys, with that being said, you know my motto. Remember to like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe. It's absolutely free to subscribe to the channel. It costs you nothing to support the channel. So please consider doing that. And I have a bench right here that I can sit on and rest for a minute. So if you would consider, all those things, I'm eternally grateful for your support thus far and your words of encouragement that you give and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead, take me a water break, do my last mile, and to remember, people, to always protect your energy, start your healing journey, find a tribe or community or safe haven, a person that you can resonate with and that you can pour out with and help you navigate your journey if so needed. So remember to always protect your energy with love and light. This is Goddess of Color, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, family, peace and love.